Tub Thumpers. Simon.
Good evening.
How are you?
Do you not feel to you like that intro goes on for like an hour?
No.
And can you imagine like at the end of season 3 when you put everybody else's in, we'll just show that intro, then finish it. Right, thanks for coming. Like 2-hour intro.
Self-taping 2 hours. Just send us a picture.
Yeah.
Like that. Some beautiful people, Si. Some beautiful people on there. And
not just missing the gallery. I'm just saying the length. Did you know?
Well, yeah. Well. Talking about length. That's what you did there, Si. To add on to those beautiful people, we've got this bloke.
Not 18 school, Andy. Look at that. Look, a day over from school. Amazing.
What am I doing?
I just say to Si, Andy, I just turn around and say, Si, can you source any pictures of Delvian? He said, yeah, of course I can. Where do you find them from, Si? Everywhere, don't you, pal?
Oh, Facebook and history pictures and old school teachers, all sorts of stuff, yeah. Tell them how important they are to the community and they just give me the pictures.
Let me start off by saying, where did the name Delvian Seek come from?
Well, evening, and the name Delvian Seek.
Oh yeah,
So it came from. I used to like a sci-fi show called Farscape, and there was a character, blue-skinned sort of plant woman called Zahn, and she followed something called the Delvian Seek, and I just liked the sound of the word. So it makes me laugh. It's all about, there was a bit about spiritual enlightenment, and everyone says a Delvian Seek and Destroy, which is like the complete opposite, but I kind of like Delvian Seek and Destroy now.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, I like it. It's cool.
Yeah. Oh,
So,
awesome.
yeah.
Our lovely Andrew, also known, now we know the story behind Delvian Seek, has a YouTube channel. And the link for young Delvian's YouTube channel is in the description. So we'd like to see as many people sub as possible. Please, that's a lovely. Oh,
if
nice.
you want.
Let's have a look who's here. Let's see who comes. We got loads of people here. There's dozens of people here. I'm gonna go start getting roasted. Shabby, you're so far behind in the chat. Well, look at this.
I can't see the chat, so
I will help you with that. There is lovely Gerard. Yeah. Oh, there's somebody else here. Have you met? You've met our Des, haven't you?
I've met Des. Lovely bloke.
Is he as smooth as we all say, or is it just a myth?
No, he's pretty smooth. He's pretty smooth. Yeah.
Did you say to yourself when you saw him, oh, he does lean?
See, I thought his theme music, you've got sort of like careless. I thought it might have been Lean on Me, actually. You might play with him.
Oh, I see Mr. Trick there, man. Mr. Trick.
Well, we can always make another. We've got hundreds of them.
Well, I suppose with somebody as smooth as Des, you need that smooth saxophone, like sort of George Michael-y, don't you? It all mixes in with him.
It all mixes in, exactly right. Mr. Knight is here. All right, Keith. Hello, Keith. A long time ago. I was expecting all these Reds fans not to be here for another half an hour. This is dedication. I turned Everton off just to do Tub Thumpers. That's dedication. That
I feel honored.
Just to do Tub Thumpers.
Just for you, Andy. Do you know what I mean?
Thank you. I feel special.
I won't bother. We were getting hammered. I didn't want to watch it anyway.
Okay. That moment's gone.
Oh, Cat. Good old Cat Knight's here. The lovely Gilster is here. Look at this. Everybody's here. Kieran Ball's here. Now, last week I got in trouble for this side, but this week I made sure I had it. Lovely DTM. Delvian's turn to Tub Thump. You're a watcher of Tub Thumpers, aren't you, Delvian?
I do. I watch it every week.
So my question to you is, Delvian, what makes you watch this crap?
It's
nothing else.
It's obviously it's your magic tricks and question of the week, and I forgot to bring a tissue for my nosebleed for a question of the week. Actually,
damn. Question of the week. People was at home going, "What's Andy injecting himself with?" Mr. Edmund, Jonathan. Good evening, Shabby Si, Delvian, the Magic Circle legal team and chat. Yeah. Good point. Oppie's here, higher ups. Mr. Reynolds is here. All right, Luke. I watched Luke's Reynolds. I had a bit of a marathon with Luke last night. I watched his. I watched a few. I watched his Brave Star one with that laser pack. I watched the Battle Round one. That was pretty good. And I watched his latest one with Red Alert. Pretty good. I like his video. I like his old school Puma sweater he's wearing, like old 80s one. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
It's like
it was some old school stuff, yeah.
Old school.
It's all cool stuff, like soul graffiti wear, isn't it? Breakdance wear. It's cool.
It is breakdance wear. Hello, Claire. Claire's here.
Claire.
Ricardo. So, like, I ask this question every week. Might as well ask you, Andy. So you're in a bar, Andy, yeah?
Okay.
And you just in a drink, and then, let me think. The most beautiful girl in the world comes up and she goes, "Hello, blah, blah, blah. How are you?" Would you not use the name Ricardo?
I'm not sure I could pass for a Ricardo, but I could give it a go. But
it means I can't because of our accents. Ricardo don't really sound the same. Hasn't got the same. You know what I mean?
No.
Only if I could. My surname could be Monteblanc as well, I suppose.
Oh, sigh.
He's making himself might be a third member of the Tub Thumpers forever. Keeps coming out with this gold stuff. I'll be fired. Listen, Si, you can give this week a miss if you want. Delvian says it will come on.
Well, we'll get him on, Si, as long as he uses that name. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
Housewives, they'd love it. Housewives would love it, Si. They'd be like, "Who's on?"
Housewives. Well, since it's 1987.
Oh, brilliant! Everyone say hello to Ricardo. Good old Gilster's here. Good old Luke's here. Miriam's here. I am Miriam. Wow. Here we go. Connor Fuller, also known as Fuller's Figure, says, "Be sure to follow Delvian Seek over on Instagram. Dude's gallery is awesome."
Thank you.
It is.
I used to be on Instagram years ago, and I had quite a few followers, and it was during the pandemic, and then I started to give too much of a damn about it, so I just kind of cancelled the account, just sort of got rid of it. And the only reason why I got back into it was just to actually just to be a bit more sociable and sort of communicate with people. So I know. I don't say I'm not like a complete hermit. I don't live in a forest or anything like that. But
I might as well do.
Yeah. You should have said from the start, what's the name Delvian after? It's the cave I live in. Oh, brilliant. This is awesome. I'm loving it. Cheers, Connor, for that. Hello, James. Good old Jimsy. Everybody's here. That's what happens when you get eye candy on. Do you know what I mean? George Aitkins here. Good old George. Boy.
See George in a few weeks. I think he's coming to Soy Fair, isn't he? He will be going, yeah.
Let's have a look.
Matthew?
To be fair, I just thought I'd say hello to Connor and thought that I'd missed you. No, he's right there. There you go. Well, he's seen it now. Look at it that way. Hello, Shabby and Si. Well, it's much appreciated, Cat. There's a nice thing going on. What's Terry jamming the bush? You threw keys from under, Cat. Some time yes. Hello, good old Steph.
Hello, Steph.
So, how's this newfound fame that you've got, Delvian? You know, now.
Well, I mean, I've been in touch with my agent this week, but do you know this is the third? This is like my third online appearance in about a week or so. So it's like Terry's buses. It's nothing, and then all of a sudden it's like 3 in a row. And I think
Teddy's driving them.
Oh,
and I think everyone must be like pretty sick of me, or they will be maybe after tonight.
No.
So I'll have a break. I'll have a break for a while.
It's like what we said before we came on. I love that. I love it that you, yourself, Des, Zoe, Scott White, everybody, Coxie, everyone's coming out of the shells now and getting involved. And it makes you proud, really, of the community we have, I think, Si. That makes you proud because of the lads that we all know. We're all dead friendly and dead nice.
It took me years to come on here. I had a channel years back in 2010, and it was called Obi-Wan Si 75. That's what it was called. And it was all about graffiti art and art around the field and local artists and stuff. And I came soon to realise I'm not my twin brother. I'm not really much of a presenter. And they were so wooden and awkward that I just stopped doing it. So when all this started a few years back, I always said to myself, I am not going on any streams. I'll be in the chat. I'll, be in group chats and stuff. But as far as stream is concerned, no chance. But I think after a while, you meet up with these people, you make friends with these people, you talk to them daily, you get to know them personally and the families. And you just think, you know what? They see my ugly mush every 5 minutes. Who's bothered about coming on having a chat about stuff that basically we're all interested in? Yeah. So it sort of breaks the ice, but it did take me 3 years to do it. So it's not for everyone.
Everyone's so friendly and so supportive. I mean, like with comments like this, with Shabby Busy, can we keep you updated? So far, Everton are shite.
Yeah, good update. Proper update, that.
So, good old John's here. Hey, hey.
Hey, hey.
That.
Sharkhead.
Oh, that's great.
Oxy's here.
All right.
Evening, everyone. Delvian is a great guest. Met him on Saturday. Top tea. Told you.
Yeah, it's lovely to meet him too. And I hope you're feeling better.
Yeah, he said he's not well. You said you're not so well though as well. Have you picked up?
I picked something up from Sam.
Why have you been kissing?
It's conflict.
But I'm all right now.
Conflu, I get it. I went to the last one and I got ill after 2 weeks. You do, don't you, sometimes?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to ask you been kissing, but it is a bit of a coincidence you're ill, Cox is ill. Just saying. Do you know what I mean? It's just, it's kissing in a tree. Is there any trees outside Sandown side?
No idea. No bit.
Oh, awesome callback, Delvian. Farscape was an epic. So one was Farscape. As you know, I'm not. I don't think I've seen any.
Farscape. Was it Australian?
It was Australian, and it was Australian.
And there was a little like Jim Henson puppet in it.
Jim Henson sort of like.
Was the ship alive? The ship was alive, wasn't it? It wasn't.
Moya,
I remember Farscape.
It's a living ship, and actually Claudia Black was in it, and I think you know Claudia Black, so I think she was in Star Wars recently as well.
Yeah, she's one of the witches, wasn't she, in Star Wars? Yeah, I did like that show. Did it not get cancelled early? I think that's why I must have
It got cancelled, then it got brought back, and then it got completely cancelled. So it was very expensive to make, all the puppets and stuff like that. Georgie will tell you, it's just expensive. So,
yeah, I remember enjoying the first season. Yeah.
Funnest film.
That's it.
He said, as Palt will say, do it. And there, as well as in the link, thank you, Connor, for doing that, is Delvian's YouTube channel. There you go.
Thank you.
Right there.
Do you only subscribe if you want to, because it's very niche, my channel. It's just sort of like comic book stories and the occasional diorama video.
Stuff we all love, innit?
Yeah, but
Virginia Hay, who played Zarn in Farscape, also appeared in Mad Max 2 Road Warrior, says Arkieran. So
she did indeed. She was also in The Living Daylight. She was a Bond girl.
So you can't see the chat, Delvian, and Juno says, funny enough, Delvian, Shabby can't see.
I wish I could see the chat.
I just look like a proper plum. Look,
it's your vanity a bit. Keep your glasses on.
Yeah, all right, yeah, let's have a look. Max Collection says, not to bag, but I was subscribed to Delvian way before it was cool.
That's true. Thank you, Matt.
It's cool.
Oh, look at that. Not really, Des. Good escapism watching from my bed. Oh, I hope you're feeling better, Kev. I do.
I do, Kev.
I don't have two screens going. One to watch Shy to the other one to watch Shy, basically. Is it an automatic reaction to turn off everything? Scumbags, Delvian. That's all. That's all.
No, I think they're very intelligent young men. I think they're all intelligent, extra good looking, and they all know what they're talking about.
I'd turn everything off to watch The Acolyte. Did you like The Acolyte, Delvian? Did you like it?
No, there was a few bits in The Acolyte that I quite liked. The episode where the stranger killed all the Jedi. That was but most of it was just pretty
Bum crump on it.
I can swear on here, but not too bad. It was dog shite, sort of.
Yeah,
like,
swear as much as you want.
Yeah.
This is Shabby Si.
It was crap. It was crap. So.
Can I actually vote something though? Do you not think it was leading somewhere? I can't. I know it's not a very popular opinion at all, but I actually, after all the show 3 finished and all this silly shit like ended, I started to quite like The Acolyte. I didn't actually mind it, and I thought, truthfully. And I thought by the end of it all, the way that like them sisters like switch places and stuff, and then like the good girl was going like to the dark side and stuff. I thought I would have liked to have seen a season 2 for that.
So you would like to have seen a season 2 and you didn't mind it?
No, I thought that I didn't mind it. It was stupid like they all are today, but it was watchable. I didn't mind it. I wouldn't have minded season 2.
See, that was sizeless last time on there.
Good call.
Don't need Si on doing. I think he's been drinking.
No, I didn't mind. You've got to be fair. I've always never been one to sit on the fence. I like what I like and I don't like what I don't like. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, it was no masterpiece, but it got watchable for me. It did.
They kind of positioned that as sort of like a Sith, like showing behind the scenes, sort of like Sith. And it wasn't like that at all. So, I mean, okay, fair play. If you really truly did like Fight, that's fine. But there's bits of it I liked, but no, it was dog shite.
Dog shit! Don't listen to Si. It was all right.
I thought that, but again, I like that sort of thing. But don't get me wrong, it's as stupid as the days come, like they all are today. So I get that.
Mr. B's here, good old Mr. B. Remember that question of the week? Comes on.
This week, my question of the week isn't related to science or anything like that.
Is it not?
It's just a nice, normal question that I'd like answering.
I have to give this young lady credit, man. I watched her on Stews, and she brought up Tub Thumpers about 5 times. What you absolute legends, though.
That's only because she wants us to drop the Thistle Do on this show. I know what she's planning. She's planning a big Christmas do at the Thistle Do, so she wants as many people knowing. I know what she's doing.
Oh, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Let's have a look. We're getting down pretty good here. I never thought I would do live streams, but you guys are so lovely and welcoming. Listen, I've always said it, and I'll be humble as pie. This is why I don't monetize my channel. And I just want to have a good time meeting everybody, having a good laugh. Do you know what I mean? And so, yeah, everyone's more than welcome me.
And I'll say, after Kat, after Georgie, you better start upping your game on the Tub Thumpers. Do you know what I mean? It's simple as that.
You just said that, and Andy went, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, and I hope you watched them to up your game, lad.
Here's a pencil case. I've got Shabs. Oh, nice. Mr. B says, "Congratulations on the win at Stews, Delvian." Hard one.
Oh, you won. You won on Stews.
Yeah. So that was a bit of a shock, actually, because those questions have been a bit more tricky this year.
It's a bloody joke. What's the robot in Dooku's ship called? I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I didn't get that one. I didn't get that one. So but yeah, I was quite surprised. And plus Matt knows his stuff. And I thought Daniel Chart was going to be on. And I thought, oh, God, Daniel knows his stuff. And I didn't know what was. But I kind of thought, oh, I bet his name sounds intelligent, so I might be going out.
Brilliant.
And no disrespect to Nick, but when he swapped over and he was taking Daniel's place, I did, because he said he didn't know anything about Star Wars.
But it's weird though, isn't it?
Because I'll get you right now.
No disrespect, Nick.
But it's weird though, because you see who's on it, don't you? So you'll see who's on it, and you think, oh, and you pick out your favourites, don't you? Like, not necessarily your favourite people, you like the people you think, oh, they'll well go through with this, and they, you know what I mean? And then they get questions that you stumped on. It's a hard...
See, I don't do that. I can't do that because I know a lot of these know the stuff. From Martin to all of them, there's too many to name. So when I watch Stews, I have no idea who's going to get through. Absolutely none. Do you know what I mean?
Well, listen,
people with vast amounts of Star Wars collections, they know a bit or two, don't they? Do you know what I mean?
Right,
Let's be fair.
Let's not say anything else, out of there, out of turn, because look who's here.
Library Mafia,
Delvian, Library Mafia.
I hope you've got no bookshelf return, Davian.
No, all the books are mine.
Oh, thank God for that. We don't the Library Mafia on to us now.
This is why Adam Berry never gives his address out. Do you know what I mean?
No, because he's target enemy with the Library Mafia. Him.
Target enemy. Good old Mr. Whitehouse. Hello. Let's have a look. Lord Mavada Ousty. Last week, too much vodka in the Coke. This week, got no Coke. Sharp short in 40 minutes, so I'm going to nip out. All right.
Get to the shop quick. Get to co-op.
Don't forget your co-op card.
You'll get 2 bottles of Coke for £4 if you take your co-op card. Otherwise, it's $4.95.
I tell you what, you can tell our skis from the north. I'm nipping to the shop. I have to tell everybody. I'm nipping to the shop. Do you want anything? No, I'm all right. Thanks. You don't need
anything. A flake. They'll have a crunchy.
Oh, absolutely brilliant. At least they were able to finish the story of Farscape in a movie entitled The Peacekeeper Wars. Did they really?
I didn't know that they made a movie. No.
Yeah, it was a 2-parter. So it's kind of finished it off, but it ended. So it's sort of like I like the first 2 series. They were the best.
Yeah. Carol's here. I tell you what, Delvian, everybody's here, mate. Everybody's
thank
here.
you, everyone.
That's awesome. Look who's here. Our Gap just wanted to
talk about you the other day.
Yeah, we were talking about you, Gap. You just wanted to
Where's that bloody Gap been?
It's been a month and still not over it. Oh, who've you been kissing, Gap? All these people getting you. See what I mean? No one wants to kiss me, so I'm healthy as anything. No one wants to kiss Shabs. Get away. You know what I mean? So, but that's awesome. It's awesome to see you. Just wanted to say a quick hello to everybody. I've had the few really bad. It's been a month and still not over it. Well, get well soon, my friend. It's lovely to see you. Let's have a look what Lady Steph says. Good to hear from you. Oh, no, really hope you feel better soon. Right? Good old G-Force is here. G-Force is here.
Gary?
We can swear on here. Wait till Size Buddy question. It's obvious you can swear on it because every time someone puts it on, they always go, oh, for fuck's sake. This is on again. Do you know what I mean? Hope you're doing well. Sound like the Acolyte. I've just unfriended on Facebook. It's disgusting. Here we go. Thanks, everybody. I've got to go and take my medication and rest again. So love and hugs, everyone. Good to see you, Gap. It's good to see you.
Take care, Gap.
My friend. Let's have a look. Hello, Gap. Everyone's saying hello to Gap. Take care of yourself, Gap. What the hell, Si? The fucking Acolyte.
No, you know what I'm saying though, don't you? Because I heard so much backlash online that I thought this guy was banging the drum. Show 3 is the worst Star Wars you'll ever watch in your life. So I was preparing myself for that 3rd show. Then I didn't see anything in it that he was going on about. And then I thought to myself, I'm going to have to stop listening to Nunnups online here. I'm just going to have to start watching stuff again and make my own mind up again. Obviously, it was dumb as hell. There's no doubt about it. But I thought it started to progress somewhere where I thought I would have seen a season 2 where it was going. Do you know what I mean? I mean, it was stupid. One of them's got a massive tattoo on the head, the other one doesn't. They can't tell each other apart. And nobody thinks apart in the fridge. Have a look. It's not you, is it? You know what I mean? So,
Delve, you've got my Grail item behind you. The Hazard. So let's just make our Andy bigger.
Yeah, I love that. There's one I wish to God I'd have picked up. It was that one, but I'm not paying 2,800 quid for it now. No chance.
Well, I mean, that's the one thing that I really wanted as a kid. Sort of, when I was a child playing with my Star Wars toys, I wish they'd done a barge. And that's probably the only HasLab. I mean, I've got a few of the HasLabs, but that's the one that I'm really so glad that I got. So, and actually,
so without thinking, Return of the Jedi is your favourite Star Wars?
It's not. I love all the Star Wars films, but it's not my favourite one.
Ooh.
My favourite one is Star Wars.
First one. That's my second favourite one. Yeah.
That's the first one I saw in the cinema when it was just called Star Wars. And some of my first memories are watching that film.
Don't upset Adam. It was called A New Hope. Let's just say
it wasn't.
It wasn't. No, it wasn't. He turned me like Connor. It's Star Wars, and that's it.
Yeah. And actually, I've got something to show tonight that can prove it. So it was just Star Wars.
Well, I've learned a bit of history from that, because I honestly thought that it was changed to A New Hope when they did the special editions, when they put them on VHS and that. And then I found out, no, it was the second release at the cinema. It was back in the 70s. It was A New Hope. And
no. It was when they released Empire Strikes Back. So when they released Empire Strikes Back, they added on the New Hope in the episode 4. Because I remember when I saw Empire Strikes Back, they were doing double showings. They were showing Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back, and I remember it sort of like changing over then. And I think everyone at the time was like, "What? Why is it called A New Hope? It's called Star Wars.
Yeah.
Why have they changed it over?" But it's always Star Wars to me. So.
It's like what you learned 50 years later, and it's still about Star Wars. All these years later.
Mr. B says, I agree, Delvian. The original was the first introduction into a whole new world. It was, though, wasn't it, Mr. B? I agree with that. It was. Question for Andy. Are you related to the Whispering Bob Harris, the famous BBC DJ? Who's that?
Who's Bob Harris?
He's got a nice tone to his voice, just like you have, Delvian. That's what it is.
Okay, fine. Okay.
They changed the opening call in the re-release of Star Wars in 1979 when they were making The Empire Strikes Back. Cheers, Matt's Collection.
Yeah, right, I never knew that. I always thought it was years later they did it.
Well, I'll tell you what, now we're learning stuff. Let's learn this. Right, I've got my vodka. I've got my I've got my aspirin. Let's have a look.
Where's my rope?
Oh, brilliant. Okay, Simon.
It's just a normal question, like I said, and I've thought about it, right? And you've heard now about all these nightclubs and everything shutting up, like nightclubs shut every week now, and there's no nightclubs like there used to be. But I watched this video the other day, and it was in this, like, it was about the 70s and stuff. And it showed this nightclub, and this tune came on. I think it was, if you know, the disco tune. And one guy got up and did this dance, right? And then everybody got up and all did the same dance. Like, everybody did. It's like this one, like they all knew the same move to it. And I thought, you know, we're in all my clubbing days and stuff when I was younger. Nobody did that. So my question is, do you think nightclubs close because people no longer do the dance that they all do to the one song?
Was it this dance? Right, so your question is what?
What
is your question?
And then, like, these couple of girls got up, and then these other lads got up, and they all like did this same dance on the dance floor. You know, like in the film Ex Machina, when he does that dance with that robot, and he's both dead killed and do the same dance. But it was like a load of people doing it, and I thought, is that missed? Why don't we do that anymore?
Right. So, I see. So it's like, so in other words, when the hustle did, and everyone had the same
and everyone
dance.
Would get up and do
and
the
everyone
hustle.
was in a disco doing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good question of the week. Why don't they do that anymore?
So why don't people in nightclubs all dance to the same tune, like in the same dance, like they used to do? And do you think that's ruined nightclubs because of that? Because they don't anymore.
Has that ruined nightclubs? I can imagine. Do you want to go clubbing? What, and dance on my own? I don't think so. Do you know what I mean? Delvian, I'll leave that one to you, being the guest.
Oh, God. I kind of know where you're coming from a bit here, because I remember when I was younger, I used to go out to sort of like dancing. People did used to know certain dancers. What was the one? Rocky Horror. There was the Time Warp. I think everyone kind of knew that one, that dance.
The chicken song. That business.
I even kind of think with Michael Jackson's Thriller, people used to dance to that. Which, granted, is probably a little bit stupid.
This is the stupidest episode of Tub Thumpers ever. Size goes all going.
Maybe people don't do it anymore because they realise they just look so fucking stupid.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Delvian Seek to his girlfriend at the time, stand back, stand back.
Last night. Brilliant.
Oh, I had literally turned on the best moment question of the week. Well,
if you say so.
Well, Adam would be doing Dirty Dancing, wouldn't he, after the other?
Yeah.
Be doing
lifting stew above his head. But I suppose the only thing that does it now is line dancing.
No, it's cool to dance on your own, isn't it? Or all these numpties today, they've got the phone out, dancing into the phone, haven't they? Like, yeah, look at me, I'm top.
Hang on a minute. When was the last time you were in a nightclub?
About 97. That's not the point. The point is, we don't do it anymore, do they? That's why I think nightclubs are shutting up.
That's the question of the week. How do you know?
Yeah. Not done market research. He was in the Palace, Blackpool's Palace last week. We're excited. With youngins. I
think when we were younger, we just didn't give that much of a crap what we looked like. So. Size proudest punch about to watch. Oh, brilliant. Tell me, look at that. This is brilliant. What a great episode. This is awesome. Was it disco? Is that what it was?
No, you can't do it for that one, was you? That was the YMCA, wasn't it?
That's actually a good point. Is it because the genre of music's changed?
Well, it hasn't, has it?
It has, though.
Well, it hasn't, has it?
It has. Think about it, Si.
No, because it's still dance music. So let's be fair. It's like you listen to, say, Chubby Checker from the 60s and you'll be like, your kitchen, you know what I mean? But if you listen to music from yesterday, you'll still be like that in your kitchen if it's a dance tune. So that element hasn't, but the way we approach, like, it has, hasn't it? It's like, it's lost its coolness, hasn't it? It's not cool anymore.
You've got to go in going like this, are you?
Yeah, I can't remember. I don't think I'd go down to work if I danced like that in like a drum and bass club.
That's it. You don't normally drop that marking quest where I used to go as a kid.
I don't know. I think it would work, to tell you the truth. Can you imagine? Let's just see. Like this. Hey, the name's Ricardo.
See my the dance.
I put my dance partner, Delvian.
Oh, brilliant.
Oh, absolutely brilliant. Anyway, let's have a look. No, Shabby, that was the song. Oh, sorry. Oh, brilliant. Si, it was Murder on the Dance Floor.
I used to like that tune as well. Sophie Ellis Bextor.
Oh, that's one of the best. Well, have you seen Kenny's picture with Sophie Ellis Bextor? That is brilliant. Kenny's face like that. You know what I mean? Oh, what? I had special mushrooms for EC again. Well, Cameo Candy. Everyone does the same dance when that comes on. What's Cameo Candy?
I've never heard of that.
I've never heard of that.
Is that it's like candy? Ding, 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 ding. How you do know it?
Hallelujah. Did nightclubs close because synchronized dancing?
Oh, you've got to think, haven't you? You know, back in the day, it was cool to go to a club, but now just clubs keep getting shut. And I think because no one does anything at them anymore. They just stand around like I'm mint. You don't do anything.
Oh, look at my mum. The Hustle, 1970. Look.
So Marie's been involved in them dances. Like, imagine her. Bay City roller jeans on, doing all that business.
Oh, man. Let's have a look. Because they got rid of legs and go on top of the pop. Oh, on top of the pop, so no one knows the moves.
That might be right, that.
Good point.
Top of the Pops ended, like there was always a dance move on Top of the Pops, wasn't there?
Look at Tess.
Might be right, Kat.
Side your head.
Yeah, do you remember that weddings?
Why is
You know what
everyone
Alex
sitting on
sat
the
down for?
G-Force is on it. The hustle, mashed potatoes, the twist, cabbage pack, sprinkler, running man. They were just look at.
Right, well, let me ask you two now. You've got that list up there. What are the
Right.
moves to all them? What are the moves to them dances?
Sprinkler was that one, it?
Was it?
The running man.
Was that not the mashed potato?
Yeah, probably they are. There's 3 of them. Forgot you were talking to, side dance master. Forgot you were talking to. Do you know what I mean?
Of course.
Yeah, 10 years ago there was
Of course.
3,000 nightclubs, and now there's less than 600. Social media, late night, and the youth are more healthy these days, and they've all killed nightclubs. Sad times.
But now we know why, don't we?
Yeah. I think it could also be.
now we know why.
All right, let's say that. I think it could be they can't afford to go out.
Yeah, it's nothing to do with money. It's to do with no one dances anymore. Oh God, absolutely brilliant. What about the funky gibbon and the streak? Says Kieran.
Oh, I remember the Funky Gibbon was on the goodies. They used to do the Funky Gibbon, didn't they?
Yeah. Oppie says the dance steps were always on the back of smash hits and looking magazines. They were. Remember, you'd open them up, Delvian, and at the back of them you'd see step here, step there. Do you know what I mean?
I do remember looking. I don't remember that though.
No.
Look at you two trying to be cool. No, I don't remember that, Shabby.
No, I don't.
No, I'm like Delvian. I remember smash hits. I remember looking, but I don't remember dance moves in it.
Oh, let's have a look. I tell you,
I did remember Karen Woodward from Banana Rana in him.
You're always a fan of her, weren't you? From Banana Rana.
I still tell Claire I'm going to marry Karen Woodward from Banana Rana.
G4 says pit dancing was a tad bit different. Yeah, I can agree with that. Jonathan says nothing seems synchronized dancing clubs, to be honest. Clubs getting late night opening licenses why we stopped going. Why pay into a place just to buy drinks when you can stay where you are and continue drinking? I wonder if they do synchronized dancing at the Thistle do.
I hope so. I'm not going. And neither's Delvin.
They don't buy drinks in pubs.
Unless
anyway.
everybody does our thriller dance.
Exactly,
we're not going to the Thistle do. Everyone's got to do the thriller dance if we go.
Everybody was kung fu fighting. Look at that. Don't forget the electric. Didn't realise we had so many dances in the chat. Look at them all. Well, don't forget this.
Well, my favourite move was the electric slide.
Oh, there we go. Oh,
do you remember when everyone tried to moonwalk?
No.
I never got the hang of that, did you? I could never pull it off. Like, I just looked a knob. I could never do it, ever.
Last nightclub I visited was Rumours. Do you remember Rumours?
Rumours, cat. Oh, Rumours, drinking Rumours, kid. Yeah. Oh, we've been there a few nights, haven't we, Mark?
Well, I don't like to say, but yeah.
Soul night at Rumours, oh, yeah.
We didn't have televised shows like Top of the Pops or Cheggers Plays Pop on tape of the telly and learn the dances from.
Yeah. There was a lot of that back in the day, weren't they, showing you dance moves and stuff? Because they were prepared. That's what I'm on about. They were preparing people for the weekend to go out and dance with other people. And now they don't do that. You know, people just go to nightclubs and they're miserable, aren't they? They're like, oh, let's just get this. There's nothing else to do. And then it costs you like 100 quid a pint. So what's the point? I think that's why we got shut down. People stopped enjoying themselves at them.
Zoe T, I was at a wedding on Monday and I can confirm that we were all dancing to Saturday Night by Wigfield.
Yeah.
What synchronised though, synchronised. Yeah. Andy, now no one's definitely going to the Thistle. I could just picture Kat, Georgie and Steph dancing around their handbags. If you think about it, you can think of most of these lads in here dancing around their handbags.
You better not mention my bag, Mark. I'm telling you now, don't even mention my bag at all. I know where this is going.
Have you ever seen Si in that bag? Andy wears that satchel thing, right? He's got this bag that he wears around up here like so, and every time he sends a picture, right, you do. And my wife always goes, why is Si wearing a handbag? Why has he got a handbag on? Right, like that. So Si tries to come on and explain that the price of it is worth wearing it. She's like, it's still a handbag though, isn't it?
I haven't noticed it, but I'm going to keep an eye out for it next
time. Japanese satchel. Take it everywhere I go.
Oh, sorry, it's not a handbag, Delvian. It's a Japanese satchel.
It's a
handbag.
How do you wear a Japanese
Hey, listen,
satchel?
Dario,
Like
Biker Scout will stick up for me because Dario has the same bag. So now you're giving him hassle as well. He takes the same bag with him. Like the couple from the Les Dawson show.
I'm off to the kitchen to get dancing to Chub and Checker. Who needs to dance like a DTM's like that in the kitchen? Oh, you don't dance the same way to Chubby Checker, who, as you do, the Prodigy side. That's a good question.
I do. Smack my bitch up.
Yeah. Coxie says, I agree. People are afraid to get rat-arsed and make a fool of themselves as social media records everything now. Also, the price of booze has killed off clubs. How much is a pint now? How much is a pint over there now?
Oh, I remember when we went to Star Wars Celebration last year and DTM was going to everybody, do you want a drink? Do you want a drink? Do you want a drink? And I looked at Dave and I went, I shook my head and I sort of tried to stop him. And when we got to the front and he had turned up to about 12 people, do they want a pint? It was £9 a pint.
What the France? £9 a pint.
And I went to DTM. Oh my God, £9 a pint it was.
Yeah.
And obviously, being from Yorkshire, DTM nearly had heart failure on the spot. You know, so
nearly had heart failure.
See, finals and stuff, Adam.
The cameos and song candy, honestly, you put that on in a club and everyone will do the same dance. Well, let's hope so. No real directions in the song. That's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
Let's have a look. Yeah, club prices must be mental now. Kev, why Kev? Does Kev go to club? He's clubbing. I want to see Si pull the Macarena in Wigfield Saturday night out of the bag. Yeah, out of your handbag, Si. That's what he means.
Wigfield, I've got to need me airdryer for Wigfield.
The lovely Georgie Delvian says the best song for dance moves is Superman, Ski, Spray, Ring the Bell.
Yeah.
How did that?
Spray. Superman. Remember? Great tune.
No. Always preferred a pub over a club. I don't really like pubs now, but yeah, it was a combo.
Oh, in my younger days, I was never away from a Ministry, Cream, Back to Basics. Oh, Silver Slipper, Eclipse in Coventry. Oh,
I think the last club I went to was Fabric. Actually,
Fabric.
I used to love Fabric.
Yeah. You like your garage tunes.
I can moonwalk.
Yeah. How old was Moonwalk? This was last year. Me and Delvin, we went last year. We're not old people. We went last year to these clubs.
Yeah. You went last year to the clubs, yeah.
Yeah.
Clubs were a place to meet women, and pubs were a place just to hang out with your friends, says Mr. B. So he wore his cheap aftershave in the pub and his expensive stuff in the club. That's what he did.
Yeah, but I bet like a lot of them in the chat, like you used to meet your mates in the pub before you go clubbing, wouldn't you? Like you'd all meet up. We used to meet in the Winmarrow or like halfway house, and you'd all meet up in the pub first, then go out, wouldn't you? Like, but I rarely went out in Blackpool, to be fair. Yeah, it was one of them places where I never liked the nightlife. I always preferred it in big cities and stuff.
What bag is this, Si? This is Japanese satchel, DTM. It's a Japanese satchel woven by Mr. Miyagi himself.
It's a cool bag. I like it.
Hey, I can moonwalk too.
There you go.
So considering we can't, everybody else can do it. What's the cool dance move you saw on Soul Train? Would you see it in the club? I love that Soul Train when everyone. I'd love to do that. Wouldn't you, Delvin? Just walk down that, giving it all this. I well would do it.
Yeah, I'd give it a go.
I would. I'd definitely give it a go. Talking about the size bag, his tiny bag he brings everywhere. DTM. It's a fucking man.
I'll stick up for my bag. I love my bag.
Hey, Donald, everyone is well. We are well. Thank you very much, Mark. Nice to see you, buddy. Yeah, Mr. B. Sadly, you don't need to go to a club now due to social media and dancing apps, which sucks. Ain't nothing about a man back there, Kieran. Let's have a look. I can't. Everyone's writing novels about nightclubbing. Brilliant. I'm going to be here all night.
This question has made me feel bloody old.
Yeah. Let's have a look. Star Wars Celebration 2025 in London, the most overpacked, uncomfortable experience. So many people packed in a small place and not. They do it over here. I've been asked loads of times. Shabby, do you fancy San Diego Comic Con? Not a chance. Not a chance.
I'd love to go to Comic Con.
Oh,
love to.
It'd drive me mental. I think it really would drive.
How you, Delvian? Would you got Comic Con, the big one?
I'd actually quite like to go to the San Diego Comic Con just for the experience of going to experiment. I hear it's absolutely mad. But I agree with sort of like Donut. I was at that celebration. It was horrific in that centre. It was like 15 minutes just to try and move about 15 feet. It was pretty awful.
It was packed, wasn't it?
Oh, brilliant.
Did you remember seeing the guys dressed up with Muppets, the two old guys from the Muppet Show? Was it Waldorf and Statler? They were dressed as Imperial officers, and they were sitting on one of the balconies just hurling abuse at people. It was great.
Oh, I think it is, yeah. Oh, some great outfits there, though, weren't there? Some of them cosplays were amazing, weren't they?
Hey, I wonder how many nightclubs this bloke's done.
You know how we do it. West side, coming from the west side. Nothing but the west side.
He says
residency. Residency, Mark.
What's that?
I said he's got a residency. I can't even say the word.
Shut up, Si.
He's got them DJing every week, isn't he?
£9 seems expensive compared to 20 shillings up north, Si. 20 shillings, Si.
Half a shekel.
Half a shekel. Oh, absolutely brilliant. I bike it, right. We're going to have to get down here because we've still got
That's easy. Yeah, Dario, tell them about our bag. Tell them off, Dario. They're slagging us off. They're slagging us. Be on my team, Dario. He's got the same bag and he will not have it like I don't have it.
Tell him about our bag. So I can imagine we wrote about. Oh, you mean that handbag we've both got?
Yeah, it's a good kill bag.
But anyway, Si, we've gone off rails completely here. We're here So, as you all know, Delvin's been around the community for years. We've always seen him in the chat and so forth. And now he's obviously got his YouTube channel going. His Instagram channel's back up and running. You've seen him on many a stream and you've seen him in a quiz and having an interview. But what actually do you know about Delvian? So our Si's done his research and here is the life of our Delvian.
Love it. I thought I'd got rid of every one of those photos from the internet.
It's amazing.
I find them. I find them.
It was in that pub dancing with all the other people dancing, and that guy said, "Hey, do you remember Delvin being an astronaut?" So I was like, "No," and there it was. Do you remember making Frankenstein? No, there it was. I tell you what,
that was only the other week.
I never liked clubs. Raided as many over the years, or like a miserable bastard that I am. PTR. Right, let's just get down here a minute. Let's have a look. Star Wars Celebration 2023 was a massive fire hazard. Thanks, Donut. Look at that.
Yeah.
Oh, you shouldn't put that there. If there's a fire.
That's in front of the fire door.
Oh, absolutely brilliant. But anyway, we're here to see our friends Delvians because, as you say, myself, Simon, and the chat, we're all nosy bastards. So we want to know what's in. So, Delvian, show us what's in your tubs, pal.
All right. Well, I quite enjoyed having a look through because I pack stuff away and I forget what stuff I've got. And I said to you earlier, I've wrecked this room. This room that I carefully tidied up over Christmas. It looks like a bomb site. But the first thing I'm going to show you is which I've taken down off the wall. And before I show you, my whole room is like a big tub because I open a lot of my stuff, so it's all up on the shelves. But one thing I've taken down from the wall is
Ooh, look at that side. Let me make it even bigger.
So this is this is an artist called Dan Mumford, and I absolutely love his work. And I got this, and I don't know if you can see behind me, just above the barge, I've got another one of his, of Slave One. I've got another one of Princess Bride, which I gave to my brother as a Christmas present. But I saw that, and I don't often buy prints and things, but I saw that and I loved it, and I just had to get it, and that's pride of place and one of my walls, and I'm glad I took it down because it needed bloody good dust. So,
this is the second time someone said this tonight, Simon. Look at this. Doesn't Andy sound like Bob Harris on the late night radio?
I'm going to have to Google this. He better sound really nice. I'm going to be.
That's it, Andy. You've got one of nice voices, you see. You've got one of them voices that you could read audio books and you could present the news and you could, you've got them nice voices, nice dialect.
Thank you for saying that. Some people said that I've got a voice that's quite soporific, which means putting people to sleep.
Shabby Si's done that. he's got the same thing. Funny that, isn't
it? Chris says not wrong with a man bag. So that's it.
Thank you, Christopher. Thank you.
Yeah, I would admit I use a bag as well, but it's because it's handy and I have a laptop and stuff like that. So
our bag is the greatest.
Thank you, Dario.
Oh, brilliant! Right, Andy, what's next, my friend?
That was just another quick thing because you did an Empire cover magazine. One thing I'm quickly going to show you because I came across this. I love this. Everyone who collected Star Wars probably had one of these.
Yeah.
As a kid, and I managed to. This isn't one from my childhood, but I managed to pick one up, and God, Ewoks. They're there, and I remember I used to read through these and look through these until they practically fell apart.
Well, would you like brochures to tell you what was coming and things like that?
Yeah, just they came in the boxes. So I just got the me and Ethos went out last year and I found the Chewbacca. Remember the bandolier? And it had one in there, and that was the first time I'd seen one of them, Andy, for years. You know what I mean? To have a look through it, and you're right. It's like a little catalogue side that came with the stuff, and it had all the stuff that was up and coming in it and so forth.
Ooh, do you remember these?
Yeah.
So this isn't my original one. I had to replace it. It needs damn good dust to do most things. But I used to love these things. And the person who had that did the same as me, put the stickers on the inside because you could fit all your figures in there. I loved this one. I never had the C-3PO one or the Chewbacca bandolier one, but this one was the best. I love this.
There were great stuff like that though, because it was the same as Castle Grayskull and that. You put all your figures in, it went to your mate's house with all this stuff, didn't you, saying Andy? Do you know what I mean? It's like cool way to carry your toys, if you will.
Definitely. What do you want next? I've managed to dig out. Do you remember these?
Yeah.
The
play along records to them.
Play along records.
Yeah.
And there's one of Tron.
Oh yeah, now you're talking. Look at that beast.
I mean, the Tron one is. It's. I actually like Tron. It got hammered, but
it's a big fan. Yeah.
It's a lovely film, and I actually didn't mind the sequel too much, and I'm quite glad they're doing another one as well. So,
Adam has a question for you. He said, "Can I ask Andy a question? What has your work career been like? I'm interested to know if you don't mind sharing. What have you done?"
I've done all sorts of stuff actually. I originally, okay, if you want to know, this is not sort of all that interesting, but I originally trained in marketing. I worked in advertising for a while.
Yeah.
I've worked in retail. I've run cinemas. I've run a pub
Oh, cool.
for a while. And sort of now I work in, and for the last sort of like 15 years, really, I've worked in sort of charity sector. So
awesome, man. Yeah, that's awesome. Kevin Bull says, normally I can spot the fake pictures side, but not tonight. They're never
There's no fake pictures, Kieran.
Never use fake pictures, Kieran. Say it every week.
They're all real.
Anyway, hi, good old BOE's here.
BOE, red on me.
I can't believe how busy it's been. Everyone's turned up. No need to be sorry, Lady Steph. Just don't let it happen again. Oh, Steph's causing trouble in the chat. Right, Andy, what's next?
Just a quick one. This is a lot of people in the UK don't have this. It's when they got the barge. You've got this sort of like booklet. They don't do things like this with HasLabs anymore, and I haven't opened it, but I know what's in it. And it was just sort of like all the designs and sort of the history of making the barge. But I ordered mine from a guy called Dark Side Toys. And he managed to send it through, and I'm quite glad I got that actually.
Has it always been Star Wars for you, Andy? Has it always been Star Wars?
Well, as you will discover, yeah, primarily, but actually there's a few sort of like other things that crept in there as well, as you'll see with sort of like Transformers. But yeah, it's mainly been Star Wars. I love the Rancor. I sold all of my original Star Wars toys from when I was a child. I was in my 20s. I needed to pay rent, and I didn't really think it through, and I sold them all. And as you'll see, I've spent sort of quite a few years replacing stuff, and I still love the original vintage stuff, but it doesn't feel quite the same. But I'm still glad that I've got it, but I'll show you a few bits of that.
Simon, you said it. You made a point about this site about vintage stuff. Was it you that said it, Si, that it's not, if it's not your own, you don't feel the same about it? It's something that you had as a kid. Si, is that right?
I was asked a question about why do I not collect vintage as such, and it's because most of the vintage Star Wars figures that we had as kids and we played with are still here. We've still got them, so I don't really have that. You know, to rush out and go and buy. I mean, I have bought vintage and I have bought vintage carded, but I don't feel the rush to go and buy all the old vintage back, if you'll have me. A bit like you, Andy, I suppose. Yeah, when they go, you like to get them back in, but they're not going to replace them ones in as such, you know. So
won't be.
Yeah,
they're
nice.
It's not the same. It's nice to have, but it's completely not the same. But I mean, in answer to your question, no, I not always Star Wars. Also a little bit of Transformers. So, and I picked these up sort of like years and years ago, sort of like from the TV series. And I was looking through them earlier, and it's like these like postcards and comics inside of. They don't do that in DVDs anymore. It's just like disc.
Yeah, that's true.
Whereas I mean, there's loads of stuff in there, but I did like Transformers. You'll see some of that. Pass on those. This is. I know everyone knows to see Star Wars, but I was really glad to sort of like have picked this up because it's got the original theatrical releases of Star Wars Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi in there, where it proves that it was called Star Wars.
Look at Andy causing trouble. You heard it here first. You know what I mean? Oh, brilliant.
What else?
So G4 said he's admiring all your shells, David. Don't mind him. Admiring all... He looks awesome in there, though, doesn't it, Si?
It does.
Looks really cool.
So I was saying on Stu's the other week, I like 3 3/4 inch sort of like scale because it's great for sort of like fitting loads of figures on, and I like building loads of dioramas and stuff. Some of the stuff I bought from Hasbro, but they've done a few. And to be honest, I don't think you can quite see actually. Oh no, it's going to follow me around if I move. I might do a little tour later. But I did Jabba's Palace myself, and it's not perfect. It's great. It's a bit warped and everything, but I loved it because I could fit all the figures on there. And then they released Jabba's Palace, and I changed it over. It didn't quite feel right, so I took it back out and I put my old one back in, and I just thought actually I prefer the one that I did. So it's,
I love stuff like that though. I mean, like Hoppy and Daniel Chart, G-Force. There's a lot of lads that make their own stuff, and I love that. I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
So I mean, I get probably just as much fun making the environments and the worlds that go with the figures as collecting the figures now.
Yeah.
So I really do like it, enjoy it. But
Brilliant. Yeah.
It says,
Andy speaks the truth.
Andy speaks the truth.
I always speak the truth. But I don't just collect sort of. Oh, hang on. Yeah. I don't just collect sort of 3 1/4. I've got a few 6-inch figures. I did collect back series for a while, but I packed a lot of them away. And
a lot of people have. Yeah,
will
it's weird,
give it. They just take up too much space. But so with 6-inch, I just sort of get figures every so often that I just. Now I did want. This is probably my only Masters of the Universe figure of Evelyn, and I was going to get Skeletor and Beastman, but I just didn't find a good version of them. So there's that one. My only Mystique, my only Marvel figure, because I like that version of Mystique. It is a good figure. It does fall over quite a bit, but you know, she gets around. A few Black Hole figures, which I sort of like. I like the Black Hole film. It's like a decent sort of film. It's not brilliant, but it's wholesome. And then I did go through a phase, and I gave a lot of them away to my brother. I love Planet of the Apes, and so there's a few of those figures that I've got. So which
you made those?
I think they're Mecca. I think Mecca made those.
Have you seen those before, Si?
I've seen them, but again, I think it was either Necro or McFarlane I was thinking of.
So, but they're not bad figures. They don't fall apart.
This is the most comfortable I think I've ever seen Delvian. He's a blast. They are Delvian.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm like over any nerves now. So
awesome.
Just about. I've shown you the Black Hole.
I'm over the nerves now. When I realised how much of a dickhead Si was, all of a sudden it's not a problem anymore.
When I realised
I'm in good company.
Realise what a pair of tulips, Si and Shabby are. I have no issue at all.
Brilliant.
This is going to give you insight into some of my OCD nature. So I'm an opener of figures. I do have carded stuff, but I tend to open stuff. And I find I've got loads of weapons and sort of stuff all over the place. So I've kind of put them, and I'm scared to open this because if I open this and they all fall out. But I've organised all the weapons and everything in there. And I thought it's technically if I open it and they fall out, you'll watch me have a nervous breakdown live.
Swords go there, blasters go there, rifles
pretty much. I have to have them organised. And when I was a kid, I used to look after my weapons and stuff like that. When I sold them, there was.
But you're glad you did now, So weapons never around, are they?
Adam says, I can confirm Delvian is coming to the NEC, so everyone not going to be jealous because the man will be there. If you're not going,
I'd be jealous.
Yeah.
Trying to think
with those female figures. BOE says, Mego Black Hole, pretty cool. Yeah, they are. They are pretty cool. Yeah.
Love those figures. Few bits
Planet of the Apes ones.
Remember this?
Oh yeah, mini rigs. These are awesome.
Now, when I was going through my vintage sort of like figures, sort of ready for the show, because I actually found all the screws and hammers that go with this, and I didn't think I had them. But these I wanted to sort of like show you.
This is awesome. You've got some great stuff, mate. This is great. I'm loving this.
I'm just waiting for it to all fall over. This is some stuff I got from Celebration. And this could be a rabbit hole that I might fall down, but I'm not sure. And it's fig pins. Sorry, the lights.
Actually, well banned.
Yeah, there's a few people we've had on Tub Thumpers that have the pins in the side.
I love pins myself, but it's something that I've recently been doing. It's really strange. I've only been doing it for the past 5 years, but I've been picking pins up all of a sudden.
So that's the start of my pin collection, and I actually quite like them. So,
I'm going to get a big cork board and stick them all on it like that on a display.
I probably will.
I might attach them to the strap on my man bag.
Oh yeah, put down the strap. That's a good idea.
You started a trend, Si. You started a trend.
Sorry, I couldn't resist.
I'll say to you, is that Japanese? No. Oh well. Blimey, Andy, that Cornelius Necker figure is worth a small fortune now.
Is it?
Kieran.
Oh, I won't tell you that it actually stood inside a plant pot for a while. It's a little bit. This is the other thing. I open stuff. You'll see a little bit later on. I'm just about to show you some vintage Transformers.
I get a bit woozy when people open stuff.
Steve says, I think me and Andy are separated at birth. Tron, Flash, Black Hole, Star Wars. He whips out something from Blake 7. I will be asking my mother some questions. Oh, brilliant, Steve. Brilliant.
You don't have to talk to your mother because no Blake 7, I'm afraid. I did watch Blake 7. I liked Blake 7, but shall I keep going?
Yeah, this is awesome.
Bit of stuff.
Show's yours, my friend. You carry on.
This is not my original sort of childish stuff, but this is some of my vintage Transformers.
Seekers.
So Seekers, the wings are in a separate bag. This Trailbreaker, then this is original. It looks brand new because it kind of is. When I bought it about 20 years ago, it was still in the box, and I'm quite terrible for opening things. So I've opened lots of things that make people's eyes twitch and veins come up on their forehead.
I know you were saying before about you selling your stuff, but what were your mum and dad like for keeping toys when you were kids?
Keeping my toys?
Yeah.
Well, everything got sold, sort of like pretty much together. Yeah, so all the Transformers got sold at the same time. There's sort of like the Star Wars stuff. It all went.
Yeah.
So there's only a few items left, which I think I'll come to at sort of like some point. I've only got 2 or 3 items that remained. So it's quite heartbreaking, really. And I'll be honest, I was saying to Stu the other week, I felt bad about selling it because my parents, they weren't sort of well off. They were like working class. We grew up on an estate and didn't have a great deal of money. And they probably had to go without a few things to be able to buy us that stuff as kids. So I felt quite guilty for selling it, actually. So,
I always thought that when I got older. It was not until I had 4 kids myself. Do you know what I mean? I realised how much hard work my mum did when we were. I've said this story thousands of times, so I don't go on about, but I've said it to our site loads of times. You know, you must have realised what Anne-Marie went through, because I think my love from toys comes from my mum. You know what I mean? And you know, you need stories about her collecting and doing stuff up to like June, July for us all to have a cracking Christmas. Do you see what I mean? So it is. I understand that when you have to get rid of stuff, it's because it means more to us than just plastic, in it. Really, it's things.
It's memories.
It is.
It's childhood memories. But my parents, they're all right about sort of like some of the collecting stuff. Every year at Christmas, I manage to hide an Ewok as part of the Christmas decorations now, and see how long it takes them to figure out where the Ewok is. So, but now,
you know, I think since Return of the Jedi, they were the rules, weren't they? You had to put Ewok figures in the tree. They were the rules forever, weren't they? After 83.
Delvian, are you staying over at the NEC? Says APD.
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
2 nights. So I won't go through all of these, but sort of like Huffer and sort of like. So I managed to replace pretty much all of the G1 Autobots, apart from Sunstreaker. So, but I probably won't go.
So what did you do, Andy? Did you make a list like, right, this is what I definitely want to get back hold of, and you went through like a list, if you will, of the stuff you wanted?
Transformers, I was just sort of more interested in that sort of like that original sort of group of Autobots, Decepticons, sort of like from the first cartoon series.
Yeah.
So sort of like stuff from the second series, not so much. I just liked that original sort of like setup, but.
Let me ask you a question. Do you feel like sometimes you go back and buy things from your past, because we're in this community these past few years now, and sometimes people pull things out, or you see things in people's videos, and immediately you remember it and you think, I wonder if that plays a big part in like buying things back now, and because of all the acknowledgement you've got to it, you know, you see it everywhere all of a sudden again.
Yeah, I mean, it's that whole nostalgia thing. It's sort of like it's almost like you kind of relive some of those memories, and there were happy times. I'm not saying I'm not happy now, but it's sort of like when we were growing up in sort of like the 70s and 80s, there were really good times to grow up. We had loads of sort of like stuff to sort of like keep us entertained and lots of different media and everything. It was great. So I feel sorry for a lot of kids these days just playing on their phones and stuff like that, but I'm sure they like it better.
All the times, and you are right, because I mean, if you go into a store now, what you're looking at, Transformers, Ghostbusters, Star Wars, it hasn't changed in 40 years. So obviously our love for it, and it was such a time in our lives, you know what I mean, such a great generation to go up with this sort of stuff, that 40 years after saying Andy, they're still doing it. I went out and bought a Jericho ago. Do you know what I mean? It's like, wow, nothing's changed. So I agree with that
100%. So this is when I started. This is why I say it's all about Star Wars, but actually, it's not. There's quite a lot of Transformers. So I went through a phase, and I tried to get more out, but they were packed away in the cupboard, and I just couldn't move the boxes. They would have all collapsed on me. But I started going into a bit of masterpiece, sort of like line with sort of like the Transformers. And I did get sort of like a few of these, and I think I got Shockwave and sort of like a few of them. Yeah, it's just too big, and they were just taking up so much shelf space. And I just kind of thought,
that Soundwave though, that Soundwave's great.
Soundwave is excellent, and I will confess, some of it was masterpiece, and some of it was not. I say knockoff, but sort of like third party, but. This one's third party, but I'm quite glad I got him.
My favourite,
the greatest of them all. All hail Megatron.
Funny you should say that. So we'll come on to that a little bit later. Right, okay, let's move this out of the way. So
I agree. So he says, prefers a kid in the 80s than a kid nowadays. So much pressure, and sadly not a great world at the moment. I think the difference for me is, like I said, I've got kids of my own now in this generation. When we were kids, we could afford just to be kids, just to, you know what I mean? There was no like TikTok or Instagram where the pressure was on young people to do this and do that and act a certain way and be a certain. We just acted as ourselves, didn't we? So I agree with that. Yeah, I agree with that, John. I do.
So then I started to sort of like to move, because I'm the same as you, Shabby. I hate transforming my Transformers. So when I got some of those masterpiece figures, I was just like, what am I supposed to do with this?
It's like a novel.
It's like a whole bloody evening. And I had a YouTube video up. I was sort of like trying to transform the bloody thing. And then when I read that RED were going to bring out non-transformable, I thought, excellent.
That was a great line, that RED line. I loved it.
It was until they released ones out of scale, and I just thought,
Bumblebee, same size and that kind of thing.
It's just why did you do that? You just kind of ruined it. So so that put an end to that one. But I got Soundwave as well. I was like,
they were great. And they were cheap as well. They were $20, £20, I suppose, over there with it. And so
price.
Adam wants to know, Andy, do you have a grail that you want? Doesn't have to be expensive, just something you would really like.
Yeah, so actually the one thing I'd really like, again, that I had as a child, is the Palatoy Death Star half sphere playset. I love that. I get so much playtime out of that thing. I loved it. And by the end of sort of like the playtime, and I sold that as well, there was bits coming off, sellotape together and everything. Because I just it was a good playset. So I'd love to get another. I saw one at Echo, and
pricey though, aren't they? They are pricey now.
They are.
I tell you what's cool at Echo, Andy. Did you see that? Like, I think it was one of the acrylic shops that do it, but it's like that dome, that acrylic dome now you can put over it. Have you seen it? It's a big, beautiful dome. All acrylic.
I didn't see that. I will look out for that.
Perfectly fits over your Death Star playset, so no harm can come to it or anything. A bit like one of the boxes, but it's a big dome for it. Yeah, I've only ever seen it at Echo.
Oh, that's a good idea. Was one of the case guys, protective case guys making?
I don't know if it's changeable acrylic. I don't know if it's one of them, or I don't know.
Yeah, quite possibly.
But it's cool though. It's worth getting if you've got to get one of them.
Tempted because I quite like some of the background, sort of like on the walls. I'm half tempted to see if I can print out some of those images and have them in the background on shelves. There's like a little diorama background. Although I don't sort of put some of the vintage figures up really, but I have started a new Transformers line. I'm convinced myself that I just kind of think, I'm not going to fall down another rabbit hole. But I've recently found a much smaller Transformers line, which I started, and that is Magic Square.
Yeah,
and actually, they're very, very sort of like cartoon accurate. They're much smaller. I can fit more on a shelf. And actually, I quite like them. And they do actually transform as well. Not that I've actually done it. They come in figure form, and I'm not going to transform them. That is exactly what they'll remain for the rest of their existence. I'm not going to change them back.
Adam's got an answer to his question. He says, "Great. Well, I'm not buying you that."
Okay.
Kieran says, coming to YouTube channel near you, Shabby and Andy and can't transform, won't transform.
Yeah, too right. I refuse to. I'm just trying to think of this.
Well, let me ask you this question then, lads, right? I don't take things out of the boxes. I'm a bit against it, But if you take Transformers out of the box and don't transform them, is that just as bad as keeping them in the box? Ooh.
I opened all mine, and the thing about Andy, I did the same thing. The way I worked it out is going back to G1. I just watched Luke's video on that Red Alert, and Vital had sent him one, and it's all complete and so forth. But to find one complete, like I was wanted the Lamborghini's backside, the side swipe, and this and that and so forth. But you're looking at an absolute fortune from over here, and I just thought. And then when the 86 line came out, I thought brilliant, because I'm getting this 80. There was so much like the movie, which I loved as a kid. I thought I'll get all them. So what I did was I had them all in boxes, and I thought I'm going to start opening stuff. It was the Masters, getting Masters Universe. I'd opened all them and so forth, and I thought I'm going to do it with my Transformers. So, but it's like the booklet now. It comes like that, and you're like, what the chance, man? I thought I've got no chance. So what I did say, I just stuck them out the box and stuck them on.
That'll do.
I'll do. Yeah. So,
I would be more tempted, sort of like, just to go through the transformation once and buy another one, just so I'd have the ultimate version, so I wouldn't have to go through the hideous, traumatic experience of transforming.
It's funny as well, because you look through my display, and there's some that are vehicle mode sign, some that are Transformers mode, and that's not me changing them at all. That's how
they come. Yeah, they've come like that.
I love that. Our Des says GW acrylic side did the Death Star dome. Not sure of the price. I bet it'd be pricey. Won't it?
I knew it was one of the acrylic companies. Yeah.
Coxie says, I'm with Delvian. The Palatoy Death Star is my grail too, but the GW acrylic dome is in the region of about 400.
Yeah, they're not cheap, them acrylic, when they get bigger and bigger, are they? They're not.
The following is a link to a small Transformers line called Blokies. They are.
Yeah, I like Blokies. I've got a couple of them.
There you go.
They are good. I like them a lot. And they're not expensive either. And I really like them.
Oh, they are. Just look, Kev. The dome is about £100, £100, sorry, at GW acrylic. Steve says, luckily, never been in that position. I left them in the attic at my parents for about 30 plus years. Then one day got it all down and literally built a car. Wow. So, yeah. And it's the same thing Cheapo says right here, that choices were made between paying stuff and keeping money. I suppose it does come down to that, doesn't it, when you're in that predicament?
I've been there many a time when I've been in between jobs and I'm skint and I've got 2 bloody Master Effects lightsabers sat there, and I know, I can get 400 odd quid for them. Got rid of them. Sometimes you have to do in life. Sometimes life kicks you in the arse. Do you know what I mean? And you've got no choice. I've been there many a time. As an artist, let me tell you now, many a times I've been on my arse, and I've thought to myself, what's the point having all this around me when I'm skint? Do you know what I mean? So many times I've had to give up, God, all sorts of stuff. Japanese, these DPOs, lightsabers. I've got rid of a lot of stuff. Do I sit there now and think, do I regret it? No, because it's materialistic stuff. Anything I got rid of, if I really genuinely wanted back, I could buy back. Do you know what I mean? That's the point. Anything I genuinely missed and thought I really do miss that, I can get it back. That's the good thing about it. But sometimes in life you've got no choice, have you? Got no choice at all sometimes.
Well, let me ask you both a question. buying it back. So in other words, Andy, when you went out and got this stuff back, did you get like the same nostalgia buzz as, oh, I've got it back and this is it? And
I had the same sort of like feeling as you did when we were kids, when it was collecting stuff. It was like, all right, I've got that one. I need that one. I need this one.
Yeah.
When I was sort of going through buying them. So like the Star Wars stuff, I've got all of the 96 now, apart from 3.
oh,
So I just need original R2, pop-up R2, and EV99. And I remember it was probably about 20 years ago, EV99 was on eBay and it was 60 quid. And I just sort of said to myself, I ain't paying that. That's outrageous price.
yeah.
I wish I could punch myself in the face back then and just like, just buy it.
Yeah.
What's it going for a bit now? Which is that going for now? Like, it's like
fortune.
It's a few hundred now, I think. Sort of like it in a reasonable, because the arms used to break off, and it
was fragile, wasn't it? Yeah,
it was quite fragile, that one. So,
but it's funny how things like the Jacques faces and that figure, that like they were crap when we were kids. It wasn't your favourite figure, was it? And yet these have become like the best ones to buy.
It's funny that though, isn't it, Si?
Yeah,
do it that way, you know. So apparently that thing is actually 360 quid. It's a deposit of 100 that you want. So wow.
Yeah, the idea, yeah.
So the complete Death Star is around 600 and the dome is 400 to make it look.
Oh, you only need £1,000, Devlin. I'll just get £1,000 to go. It's dead easy, that, isn't it?
Yeah. I just sell all of this shit. All right.
Listen, I'm all about the cult of the new. I've purged so many over the years and started all over with something so many times. Yeah, I've got such a small collection of stuff I've kept for a long time as well. I suppose you're right. I suppose sometimes, though, I've got to admit, you've got to look at the flip side of that, Andy and Si. And sometimes it's good to have a good clear out and start again. Isn't it? Because I've got the reason why Tub Thumpers was born. I've got a shed just full of toys that aren't even out on display. All 3/3/4 inch in boxes and tubs that I don't put out anymore and so on. But I haven't got the thing to sell them. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, I can't get rid of them.
The thing is, I think selling all my childhood toys left me a little bit scarred because I don't sell anything now. Yeah. When I collect it, it gets packed away sort of like that. And I don't sell stuff now. Unless it gets to the point I'm really, really desperate. And I kind of think, oh, I might sell that. I just don't sell stuff. I probably give more stuff away than sort of like selling stuff just to clear out some space. So
yeah.
This is one for VTR.
That's his favourite.
So I actually went through and put all these in bags the other week because I thought they were literally just all chucked in a box. And I thought, I'm not coming on Tub Thumpers. And not sort of like showing a little bit of care for some of this stuff.
You can imagine how I could have at least put it in a bag.
No, I said from the beginning, Delvian's a very classy guy. I knew they'd all be in bags individually. I knew it. Don't mess about.
I'm trying to. I do have quite a few of the last 17 in here, but they're right at the bottom. I say, oh no, here's one. So I used to love that figure. Ooh. As a kid.
Man. Yeah.
They're pricey as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
So the price of them at Go.
And that is the original staff as well, actually. So there's quite a bit in there.
This is nice, though. Des is going to help me out. He'll take your barge if you need the space. I mean, that's nice of him, to be honest. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Gentleman.
Do you know, right, Des knows a little secret that I've got. So, so he knows what he's saying there. I have that barge there, but I also have another one up in the loft.
Yeah.
So at some point that will go. That I will sell that.
Whatever Des offers you, I'll offer you double. That's thinking one to death.
So I won't go through all the vintage Star Wars stuff. A very yellow.
Oh yeah.
Stormtrooper Luke. And I seem to end up, and this is where I said I was quite good at collecting. I ended up with 2 of certain things. So I will have to sort out and sort of like just try and but I mean there's certain ones which actually I got a lot of this stuff in the early noughties, so the prices weren't too
they weren't
sort of like bad. They weren't bad, and actually because they weren't that far off from being released, some of the stuff. So I've got a layer, Endor layer, but it's still got the blaster, it's still got the helmet. Sort of like when I bet. So people looked after stuff, which I could sort of quite like, actually.
Well, I think it's because it wasn't like when we were, all I can do is speak for me inside. When we were kids, we weren't from a rich background, so we looked after our stuff, didn't we? Basically, it wasn't. It's like we weren't. It's not like us now where we can buy it every week. Do you know what I mean? At the time, you kept it because it was basically birthdays and Christmas, wasn't it? Or if you did well at school or Easter or whatever, you always got something. Or your grandma came and stayed or whatever. It wasn't like your mum was buying stuff every week, was it? You know what I mean? So
I think Star Wars figures were a bit different though, because like what my mum said, if we went out to Woolworths or anything like that with mum, we could pick one up because they were like £1.29. They weren't a king's ransom to buy Star Wars figures. So I think with Star Wars figures, it was quite different.
It was the vehicles.
VTR for you, Delvian.
It was the vehicles that were a struggle, yeah.
He's gone. He's back in the box. He's in his little plastic bag. He can't hurt anyone. Don't worry.
Sorry, Debs. I've got dibs on the
Des has been blown out, hasn't he, tonight? Sorry, Des. Andy will be having more chats with people. There'll be more messages.
Simon, I remember that time Thousands Goals was on Tub Thumpers and he said, I'm going to get rid of most of my stuff and so forth, and the chat went dead quiet, didn't it? And the reason it dead quiet, they were getting the notepads out, right?
All scanning his background.
I love that.
What the hell?
Brilliant.
I'm just trying to think what to show you next, actually.
You show us whatever you like. I've loved tonight's Tub Thumpers. This has been brilliant.
So I've got a little box full of Power of the Force.
Nice.
Star Wars
were you big on Power of the Force? Did you get into it?
So the mystery is, I have no idea where these figures come from. They just kind of randomly appeared. I think my brother must have given them to me, so thinking I like them. But and I do quite like them. They've got a really odd style, but there's a few others. Though. It's an early version of Grand Admiral Thrawn.
Yeah, that's a Power of the Force one. Yeah.
But then I've also ended that I spare General Dodana and sort of. But some of them are just. I mean, I actually quite liked the Imperial Guards and stuff like that. They're quite nice sort of design to them, but they're a little bit. They reminded me of Masters of the Universe.
The buffness of him and all that.
Yeah. Even Leia was sort of like.
What was the thinking of that? Do you think it's because at the time Turtles, Masters of the Universe, Thundercats, they were all big muscly figures? Do you think that was the thinking at the time?
I think that was part of it. It's sort of like for that sort of like play, sort of like action, sort of like. But it
was weird though because they changed the whole figures, but the ships were all the same molds.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. From the X-wing to the Falcon and all, they were the same molds we had, in the 70s, 80s line. Just changed the figures over, which is strange, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, to make it look like they did.
So this was another rabbit hole I went down, but then they stopped selling them. So I can, and this is one for PGM. So it was 3 3/4 inch figures for the Hobbit.
Oh, it's his dad. You've got PGM's dad as a figure. Look, you've got his dad. That's lovely. That.
Is his uncle?
Oh, the whole family's here. He'll be over at moon.
And there he is.
There's PGM himself. Look at this.
I've been two minds to show these, so I thought PGM's going to get ripped. So they weren't too bad figures. There's some sort of like ugly little orcs, but and I was going to do a little diorama with them, but then they didn't sell all the figures, so they did about half the dwarves. So that kind of killed that one.
Look at T-Fo's here. Steve, Des can't part with his Star Wars rappers.
No.
Right. So, not to be outdone by Star Wars rappers.
Yeah.
Nope. I knew that.
Are you another one that keeps all these cereal boxes and wrappers and yogurt pots and?
No, but I have managed to collect.
Scale of these. 1-to-1 scale. Oh.
And this will appeal to you, Si.
Ooh.
I've got a collection of Star Wars bags.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you can see. So this is a Rogue One bag, and that Toys R Us did that one, sort of like good on Toys R Us. But I don't know if you remember over here in the UK, Tesco's had a whole series of Star Wars bags.
Right.
So they did sort of like the original Star Wars, which was great. Love that one. Excellent.
Yeah.
And then they did the Empire Strikes Back. And it's like, excellent, great, good for you. And then you think, oh, Return of the Jedi is going to come next. Nope. Force Awakens. My only sequel trilogy item for you tonight. So, goodbye.
Hey, Si, can you imagine Delvian walking into Iceland like that?
So I don't know. So that's my random bit of collected Star Wars bags.
Oh, brilliant. Question. Shall I do my party bags again for NEC? I'm very tempted. Oh, what's in a party bag?
I got a lovely party bag. I've had them last time I met with the NEC.
Did you? What did you get in it?
My cards in it. There was sweets in it. There was a little Lego mini. I love collecting minifigures. I've got thousands of them. And Adam gave me a little minifigure. He had a little carrot. I love that. Yeah, nice collected bag. Yeah.
I'll be leading with you. Good old Des. Listen to Keith. Des, I'll be leading with you right there, okay. Des T says, are you both going to Echo and NEC? Are you going as well, guys? Are you going to carry on going to these?
Yeah. I'm in. I love going. It's great meeting up with everyone. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Right, love.
Which one's your favourite, Delvian?
Well, I mean, I've only been to Echo, and
you've not been to NEC? Right,
I've not been to NEC yet, so NEC will be the first time I go. To be honest, though, the Sandown one, it was a lot of vintage, and I wasn't. It was nice to walk around and have a look. But I have to be honest, the only kind of reason why I went was to actually spend some time with the people up there, and like go out for lunch.
Oh, Si always says that. Always says it.
Yeah.
So
I'm at this big toy fair. There's hundreds of things I can buy. I don't think in all the time I've been going, I've spent more than 40 quid when I've been there. I'd like to go meet up with people and have a laugh and have a good time. I'm not really interested in filling me bags up and coming on one train and all that. And
I don't know though, Sam, I just watched Stu's video and what he picked up. That He-Man was mint and that jazz was good. And then VTR, I love watching the way VTR films it and so forth. It's like you see stuff, don't you? And you're just like, and I've got to admit to you boys, I always like to see in a video like VTR stuff that I had as kids, but was one-off kind of things. It wasn't a collection, if you will. It was like a figure that your mum would pick up, like a knockoff figure or a corgi car or something like that. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't like you know, when you see the Star Wars or the Transformers, we can all see them, and then it's always nice to see them. Don't get me wrong, but it's always the stuff like that, like Cowboys and Indians that Britain's made, and you know, with the green. The green platform on them, and I just love stuff like that.
I remember I used to have some of that stuff when I was a kid.
Oh, when Gubby pulled it out, boxed the space stuff. Me and Si, I was battered by it. I couldn't believe, because that's another good thing about Tub Thumpers. You expect him when you see people who make the videos or whatever to show like I'll give Guppy an example, Star Wars, and Guppy was showing Lego and he's showing Britons and he's showing. We were blown away, weren't we, Si? So I love doing this.
Bit more art for you.
Ooh.
I can't remember the guy who did that actually. Lee Bradley. I just haven't got room to sort of like put a lot of this stuff up, unfortunately. Nice chewy picture. And I really must sort of like get round to sort of putting some of this stuff up.
Is Transformers hard to draw, Si? Transformers?
Yeah. Not really because of the perspective of them, but it's the details on Transformers. When I was a kid and I used to study comic books and stuff, there was ways of art. There was always two that always baffled me till I got older, because I studied like a perspective at college. And the two were Transformers and Star Wars. They always looked super difficult when I was a kid to draw. But as I got older, you learn the point of perspective. You learn how easy they got, but these details still so intricate on them. It really was.
Yeah, because I've seen his Shockwave, Si. Who bought your Shockwave? Was it Coxie that's got your Shockwave?
I don't know. I can't remember.
I think Coxie might have bought your Shockwave, and that was superb. But I remember looking at it and then seeing the artwork that Delvian's just shown. Then I bet that's hard to do that because it's all lines in it and whatever side.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Nice one, Cap. There you go.
So another bit of this is Star Wars soundtrack, and it's one of the first soundtracks that sort of like I bought for Star Wars. It comes with all these different discs, but came with like this great little book as well, which has got sort of like some of the original art. And I mean, I love this book. I love this
Star Wars
book.
rock cuts give you always like a nice glossy book, didn't they? They always did. Like the books are always nice that they give you. They're always nice glossy, aren't they?
I agree.
I've never seen that before. That were they CDs as well? It was a CD one.
Yeah, CDs. So CDs. I remember when I was a kid, I used to have an album, Star Wars album, but it was the disco one.
He went to club side with all his mates doing the same dance.
They all did the Thriller to Star Wars. Everybody. That's brilliant. Oh yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, so unfortunately that was my first album. That was disco superb. Star Wars.
About time. That's all right. Delvian. About time for another Live drawing, like he did with the Judge Dredd.
Well, we was talking about that the other night because obviously Jim's stream's coming up, and we were just saying, what should I draw next live? Well, I was thinking with everybody that's on that I'll draw something, then you'll have to draw it. All the guests that are on the same sort of segment. So I'll draw a drawing, then you lot have to draw the drawing that I've done. Well, I won't make it too hard. I'll make it like something manga or something. And
are you sure you want to do that, though, Si? Because there are some people in there that saw my artwork of Smuggler's Canyon, and I've got.
Even I
was along with that.
I'll be well cut out, but I think that'll be good if everybody draws it after.
That sounds awesome, Si. One of my few comics I found hard to read was the IDW Transformers comic. So much detail in every page panel was a tough slog to get through. So I don't know.
Well, I might move on to comics now, if that's all right, actually, because I know we haven't got a huge amount of time left.
Don't shop ladies.
Scotty's like, yeah, I didn't buy it. Who the hell is?
Scotty's at all good. What did you on about?
Zoe, she'll be up for that size. She'll be up for the drawing. Awesome.
Yeah, big Zoe.
I'd rather sing opera.
Oh, yeah, look at this.
I'm ashamed to say that's my only DC comic.
Alex Ross covered that in it.
So this is the issue apparently where Batman dies. So I thought I'd better get it, sort of like to have a read through. But obviously he doesn't really die because it's Batman. He obviously keeps on coming back.
He dies for a week.
He dies for a week.
Yeah.
On your Batman, Andy, do you prefer long ears or do you prefer the short, stubby ears on your Batman?
Long.
Do you know what? I've never really thought about that question.
This is my daily thought daily, that one.
I think it's because he looks more intimidating, Si, I think, with long ears.
I think long ears.
Yeah, because he looks a bit more
accurate as well.
I like the longer ears, the vampirish, gothic Batman, longer ears, big, massive, long cloak in the dark. I like that sort of look of Batman.
I think I did get a DVD. I think it was Gotham by Gaslight. Was that where it was set in Victorian times?
I was quite lucky because Si used to tell me about these graphic novels all the time, Delvian, and then I found out that on HBO Max, they had all the movies on all the animated movies. So I'd watch them and I'd come up to our side and say, I watched Gotham by Gaslight, The Red Horde, Horse, and all that sort of stuff without even reading one comic.
But I remember the Batman animated series, watching that, and I did actually get the DV, although I can't find that. Of the animated series. I loved the animated series. Yeah. I love that Art Deco, sort of like really dark style. I like dark Batman. Sort of like, I wasn't overly keen on. I did like comic book Batman. I grew up with Adam West as Batman.
But it is the number one Batman. Batmobile.
I won't have a word said against it, but it is silly, but it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be fun. So
to this day.
Cubics. So this has been to help me with my dioramas and stuff like that. I actually started to get into a little bit of cross-section books. So the Star Wars cross-section book, which basically tell you all the outline of sort of like all the, like this is Jabba's palace and everything, which I sort of like help construct. And then I just basically started getting into sort of like a lot of those. And I've got quite a few of these books. And then I got into the vehicles.
Yeah, but it's the great, like you said, for reference. That's really good if you're going to start model building and things like that, and dioramas, and it's a really good reference to have.
It's a little bit nerdy, but I don't think I need to know the inside of the medical frigate.
Can you imagine getting that question wrong on Stu's? If only I read page 7.
And then I started to get into sort of like all these animals and creatures, and this is why I know all the names and sort of like stuff like that.
The wildlife of Star Wars.
You what? Sorry.
No, is that the wildlife of Star Wars?
Yeah.
Wildlife of Star Wars.
Yeah. So this is it's just sort of like all the animal species and sort of like stuff like that, which I find quite interesting. I like a lot of the background lore and sort of like getting into all that stuff.
I mean, you're preaching to the right choir here, aren't you? I can't think of one person that's going to go, oh no, you know. So I think the same book is called The Wildlife of Blackpool. With his handbag.
And I got this. And this is basically sort of like just people, all different sort of styles of Star Wars art and everything. And I remember just walking through a shop and sort of happened to see this, and it's got all sorts of things from like toy photography to sort of like, and I just loved it and sort of like picked this up, and it's just sort of like a magazine, but I actually treasured this one. Actually, I'm glad I picked this up. It's just lovely.
You know, it's funny because you talk about the comics, and you talk about the artists that come over to DC and what is it? But you never really talk about the comic book art. Did any of these Marvel DC lads do a Star Wars comic side? Did they ever go over and do that?
Yeah, but all the Marvel comics were done by, all the Star Wars were done by Marvel artists. Don't forget, Marvel back in the day, like DC back in the day, you had your rock stars when it got to the late 70s, early 80s. All of a sudden, artists were changing the style, and people were going on to them like they were rock. Like Frank Miller was treated like a rock star, so was Neil Adams. Because,
and they also did Star Wars
today. No, they didn't do the Star Wars ones. My point is, it was the same company that built these up. So if he was employed by Marvel, saying doing the Star Wars books, she was no poor artist. I can't give you any official names because again, they weren't like the 2000 AD or the DC that I followed. I've got a lot of Star Wars comic books, but again, I think for me, they were bought. Not when I was a kid buying Star Wars comics every week, or like my DC collection is. Do you know what I mean? So again, memory fuzzy for that one. So I couldn't tell you, pal.
I know what you mean, Kat. People my age climb mountains. I'm lucky if I can put my jeans on.
I don't know how I'm going to get out of this room. I've piled all this stuff around me. It's going to take me a good hour or so just to clear my way out. This is something you mentioned earlier, Si. So I'm big graphic novels, so it's like all hail Megatron. So
somebody else showed these as well. Had a set of these, Si. These like famous books.
Beautiful though, aren't they?
It's really good. I got the Ironhide one as well because that's sort of tied into it, which I love that one. And then there was a Spotlight sort of like series that went with it. I think it was IDW, wasn't it? Who did this one? But that was a series I picked up. I love that series. Absolutely. It was a really, really good comic book series.
So was you more Decepticons or Autobots growing up?
Decepticons.
I was Decepticons through and through. I used to get so annoyed every week that it's because of these knobheads Megatron used to have round him that he'd never win. And it used to annoy me every week at the age of 10. I'd be like, there's only Soundwave that helps him out and sticks up for all the rest of them. They try backstabbing him, they get it wrong, it never works out for him. And I used to see it a bit like how the Wile E. Coyote never won against the Roadrunner, do you know what I mean? At some point in them cartoons, you wanted the Roadrunner to like lose at least once, didn't you? Do you know what I mean? You didn't want him to win anything once. So it was a bit like that with Megatron. I just loved Megatron. I always did, always do, still do now. Love Megatron. See anything Megatron, I've got to grab it, pick it up. Love him.
Shabs, what would it take us to get us to NEC and Echo? A plane.
A plane, taxi, might have to get a train, but
a plane, yeah, good people. An airplane G-Force. I was like, we don't know. We're going to roll G-Force.
Maybe G-Force should do question of the week next time.
Oh, what's that? Max.
So, do you remember World War Z? There was great books.
I remember the movie. I don't remember was that after a comic, World War Z? I didn't know that.
World War Z was a book done by Max Brooks, who is Mel Brooks' son. But there was a graphic novel that went with it. That sort of like actually, and it was all different. The book was all different stories about zombie outbreak, and there was ones with sort of the initial outbreak and the aftermath, and there was even a story about the Queen of England, sort of like fighting off zombies and sort of stuff at Windsor Palace. So, it was a great little book, actually. Not the film wasn't as great, but this is sort of like a prequel to it, and it's sort of like zombie attacks through history, and I just quite like sort of like the style of it. So,
I never knew that.
Yeah,
wow, that's interesting.
This one I picked up, and I've got no idea where I found it from. It's a graphic novel called The Ministry of Space, and I think it's just where
great cover that is.
Britain basically took over, sort of like won the space race, and sort of like took over sort of like space. That's quite a good one. I might bring this one up to NEC if you want to have a look through that. It's a really, really nice.
Yeah, I do. Yeah,
that artwork.
That cover sold me alone. When I just saw that cover, that I was sold.
League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Yeah, I love that book. Love it. And what I love about it, and I can understand, well, Alan Moore said he was really disappointed about the movie. I was, because it's nothing like that book at all whatsoever. That book is so dark, it's unbelievable.
It's I do like that sort of like stuff, but quite a few Star Wars stuff, old graphic novels. I won't go through all of them, but sort of graphic novel from the episode 1. Revenge of the Sith. I think I've got sort of like the Clone Wars in there somewhere. I won't show that. And then pick this up, and it's Flash Gordon Zeitgeist,
awesome,
and it's like
I
a
think that's
retelling.
an Alex Ross cover as well, isn't it? Is that Alex Ross, the cover of that? I think it is.
Hang on,
I remember it. I'm sure Alex Ross did all the Flash Gordon covers.
Alex Ross, you're absolutely correct.
Brilliant.
You know your shit.
He does.
But the panels and everything in it are just superb. I mean, I love Flash Gordon. Absolutely love Flash Gordon. In fact, I'll take this moment to have a little break and show you the other 6-inch figure that I got fairly recently. I love Voltan. I love Voltan.
I'm still yet to pick these up yet. I've got to get hold of them 3 figures. They're just beautiful, aren't they?
I mean, I was tempted to get the Ming in the Flash, but I just kind of thought, do you know what? It's the Voltan I really,
you picked the right
like.
one up, because that one's gone really hard to grab hold of. So you picked the right one up first.
Okay. If they did 3 3/4 inches for that, I'd be on it. I know Boss Fight Studios do some Flash Gordon sort of smaller, 3 3/4 inch scale, and they've done Flash and Baron. And if they did that one, I'd be on it like a shot. I'd pay the import fees to get it over. I'd like that one.
Although that's a really nice figure, that NECA one, and it really is. Really
I didn't know
nice.
this. So he says that they love the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, says Kieran, because it was Connery's last film.
It was. Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that.
And wasn't there something about that, Kieran? He didn't have a good time on the film or something, did he? Or something? I remember there was a bit of something about it, wasn't there? That he on the film or something. Maybe it's because he's the last one. He was upset.
Kieran says NECA's supposed to coming out with a better Flash Gordon figure soon.
The one they did. I think the one they did's good enough.
They're pretty good. Their likeness is pretty good. I have actually met Brian Blessed, and you could hear him over the Olympias of the other side.
Hello, I'm the young man.
Did he go, is that a Star Wars bag?
From Tesco?
Don't. My brother
Is it Japanese woven?
My brother had a Flash Gordon poster that he actually had Sam Jones sign, and he was going to get Brian Blessed to sign it, and Brian Blessed slipped with his pen and ripped the poster, and he was so apologetic and everything. It's like, it happens.
I don't think you're to mind that happening, because if people said to you there's a rip in your poster, you've got a great story to tell them there in a sense, aren't you? Like, well, guess he ripped that. It was Brian himself.
It was Brian Blessed. He punched a polar bear in the face and he ripped my poster.
Oh,
I don't know if you ever watched. I loved the Dreamwave, sort of like, and they didn't last for all that long, but I loved the Dreamwave Transformer comics. The style of it and everything was just superb. So I got a couple of those, and actually some of the comics to go with that as well. The actual comics. Here's one for G-Force.
And I don't mean to brag, but again, that's an Alex Ross cover.
Wow, size. Alex Ross covered everything then, mate. I never knew
Only
that.
the mainlands. When they brought the mainlands back with the big boom, you get the best on it.
Is he just a front cover artist though, Si?
No, he drew Marvels, he drew Kingdom Come, a few of them.
Look at that.
What's the Batman one he did? Was it called War Crimes? I can't remember. But he did a Batman and a Superman, and they were oversized. I've got them both, but I can't remember what they're called.
Ooh. Oh, Stu's here. Hello, gentlemen, and hi to the chat.
Hi, Stu.
Currently at work, Pop. No, it's nice to see you. Lord Mavalda says, got the 3 Flash figures. Wish they'd bring out General Clytus.
Nice, aren't they, Lord Mavalda? Nice figures they are.
Wizzy. Brilliant, yeah.
Wizards.
Hello, my little Stu.
Little Stu.
How are we doing for time? Do you want me to speed it up or sort of like...
You've
got enough time to show 2 more things.
2 more things, right, okay. Well, 3 more things. Quickly, these are comics that John, Super Awesome Geek Show, sent through to me because I answered one of his questions on one of his things, and they're really, really nice comics. So, and I haven't thanked him properly for it, so I want to thank him for that.
I love Super Awesome.
Right, I'm going to move some bits around because there is some things that I want to show you, and it's still comic related. And this is where I take the headphones off so I don't.
Great collection, eh, Mark? Brilliant.
I loved tonight.
Which I still did anyway.
Loved it. Brilliant. Universal
I'm just waiting to see what's at the bottom of that shelf, because that's Return of the Jedi at the bottom of that shelf there.
I wait to see what's about. Just to say, Andy's such a lovely guy. It was a pleasure to have been able to meet him.
Likewise.
Love's going strong for that.
I know.
Keep going. Take as long as you like. Keep it. Don't listen to these 2 idiots. Yeah, go. I'm not bothered. Yeah, go. Awesome.
So one is, and these are old comics that I did manage to keep from my childhood. Do you ever remember a comic called Scream?
Yeah, me and Jeff Barker talk a lot about the Scream magazines and the old mystery and horror magazines.
So
again, to me, the one of the most beautiful, distinct drawn covers of them all, them sort of comics. They were just amazing covers.
Yeah,
for Indian ink work. That's just, even to this day, being in the business for 30 years, it blows my mind.
You know, Simon, it is funny. The more and more I see comics like this that Delvian show with that Indian ink, the more I'm understanding your love for it after all these years. So it's funny that.
Yeah, just beautiful.
They are. I mean, I loved this line when I was a kid. I had some persuading, sort of like, to do my parents to be able to let me get it. The obligatory old beanos.
Yeah.
Scotland's finest.
Now, I remember the Transformers comics. I did have number 2. I didn't have number 1, but I think it must have just completely sort of like devolved with time or sort of disintegrated. But I've managed to find in reasonable condition number 4. So and
so you do the same thing I do, because every time I go to either a marketplace or a flea market, I'm always looking through books and magazines all the time.
These are actually from my childhood.
Wow,
these did survive. And this is the Spider-Man one, which is weird because I think there was an issue with Marvel. So with a lot of the compilation sort of graphic novels, they don't include Spider-Man episode because they won't allow Spider-Man to be used. So, and there he is, Spider-Man and the Transformers. So And that's it. I think I'll stop there.
I've got some breaking news. We don't just invite anyone to the Giggling Squid. So Stewie's right. Delvian is a lovely guy.
Now, Delvian, is there any chance we'll be able to look just on what's that bottom shelf there? Because I've had me on it all night. Because it looks like the Endor. It looks like the Endor room. It looks like Return of the Jedi. Your bottom shelf looks like you've designed it all like Return of the Jedi there.
Which one?
That one right there, just behind your shoulder, right at the bottom. Right. On the first lot of cabinets on your right hand side.
My right hand side. Right, hang on. Can I turn this round? So
yeah, that
looks awesome.
Yeah, it does. I love
how did you spot that, Si?
I'm looking Return of the Jedi, and it's come out. I kept seeing the bag is out to the green forage, and I'm thinking that's Return of the Jedi on there.
Andy, if you want to take us for a quick tour, you're more than welcome to. We've got time.
I'm trying to. It's difficult to walk around now.
Yeah, don't stop it on anything. No,
I'm trying to figure out how to reverse the camera. There we go.
Imperial Shuttle.
Hang on.
So,
Imperial Shuttle. This is sort of like a work in progress shelf. There's my ghost.
That's took off your room up.
I completely screwed this room up. So there's my little Mandalorian shelf.
Now, did you build that diorama there?
Yes.
Look at that. That's really cool.
It's all mainly sort of like just leftover bits and pieces and air drying clay. So that's obviously.
Yeah, I like your shelves when you've got them like this. Yeah, they look really good.
So there's my old Jabba's palace and the Rancor pit.
Mint.
Little bit of a Sith thing going on. A little bit of Yavin 4.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
A little bit of Jedi Temple. That's my own cantina. I think that's Rogue One. I'm not sure if that's coming through clearly. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And then I did a little underworld.
That's beautiful. That's really cool.
Put all the stuff together, and that's kind of about it. Actually, I've got a Hoth thing going on down there as well, but
APGM.
That's about it, really.
Look at that dark with the spectacular. Kieran says,
yeah.
How did I see that, Shabby? Perhaps by magic.
No, I was thinking
I
might do a video sort of like showing how to make like an Endor tree. Is all you kind of need is an empty Pringles tube, of which I have plenty of those, and some air drying clay, a bit of paint, and a bit of patience.
Oh, some of them dioramas, I've just seen them that your figures are on. They're wonderful. They're really nice. Great work.
The pipe work is just, do you know, you do straws where you can just sort of make straws up, and that's the pipe work. So it's
silly old market.
There you have it, the tubs of Delvian Seek.
There you go. Thank you.
It's like flawed with the stuff you've shown. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Andy, can you give us your best violin? Those who know.
Oh, what's this, Andy?
I think he's making reference to "We'll Meet Again." So,
yeah.
But also she sang in Dover, and I live in Dover, so I think she sang the White Cliffs of Dover as well. So,
Universal Toy Collector says, Andy, be careful. You know, old people and modern technology don't.
Should you really be throwing stones in glass houses, Stu, after Sunday night? Just going to put that out there.
I missed the question of the week and size magic. You haven't missed size magic. That's coming up in a minute. Love the dioramas. Andy says G-Force. Jedi Master level there. Yeah. Water collection, says Coxie. Magnificent. Oh, I tell you what. Gorgeous. Look at this. And some of these lads in here, like I said, they all make the stuff. So this is compliments coming from this lot.
Yeah, and they make great stuff, don't they? Some of them, yeah.
Yeah, I'm being buried in that barge. Well, my ashes.
Like, just imagine the amount of dioramas you could make if you move that. If you just got rid of it. You know what I mean? Hey, Gilster says amazing. Wow, look at this. Yes, the location was the idea. Yeah, don't want to give out. It's not hard,
I've already done that. Oh well, it's a big place.
This is the address. Just go that.
Yeah.
Where he goes. Do you want to give out where you live? So it was Dover.
Fortunately, it's a bloody big town.
Great collection. Delvian, if you can't find scupper mold in the UK much quicker than air dry clay, there you go.
Okay.
So sculptor motors are G-Force. Great looking collection, says our Ricardo. Thank you for showing off all your cool stuff. Wonderful collection. Wonderful collection. Remember as well that next season, me and Cypher season 4 are doing the sequels of Tub Thumpers. So anyone who's come on is more than welcome to show more stuff. So if you're more than welcome, just don't make this out to be your first and last one. You can come on again, no problem at all.
There's more. It's stuff I couldn't find tonight. I was just trying to find where my Dungeons and Dragons figures were, and I don't know where. I'm assuming they've been sucked into the realm of Dungeons and Dragons because I've got a clue where they've gone.
Right. Well, are you prepared, Delvian and chat, to be amazed? Are you prepared? Are you prepared? Right, here we go. It is size, magic of the mind. It always makes me laugh before you show it. I just stop laughing before you show it.
Anyway, nerves because
I think that's what it is.
He gets to see a bit of the universe here, Andy.
That's what it is.
Nerves he's laughing from.
Nervous laugh. Anyway,
this is a bit of a remix trick because I've had a bit of a few people get onto me about the cigarette trick and saying, how did I make the cigarette disappear?
That's true.
So I said to people, well, it goes into thin air. But this time around, what I've decided to do is make the cigarette, this cigarette here, right? I'm going to disappear it, but I'm going to put it in my other hand. So this cigarette will disappear and it will appear in this hand. Are you ready?
Right. Yeah.
1, 2, 3. How did I do that? It's proper magic.
I just like the bit at the end. How did I do that?
From one hand to the other. Shazam.
I'm already amazed. Where did that rabbit go from? He has a hat, but he never wears it. He has a top hat, but he never wears it. I say to him every week, where you wear your top hat? Were you amazed, Delvian? Were you amazed?
I'm speechless. I cannot find the words. I was very impressed.
Thank you.
Very, very. I would not be able to do that.
Oh, brilliant. Magic time. And then he repeats it.
David Blake. Thank you. Thanks.
Brilliant.
Thank you.
TTM blow. Oh, look at when he put the thumb down, we could.
It's magic. I can't see nothing.
Oh my God! I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight. How did he do that? Or maybe why? It's always wow.
What part of the circle?
Well, that was amazing.
Thank you.
Totally amazed. Bring back the cockroach.
In fact, that's funny because Colin makes a return next week. So Colin the cockroach is actually back next week.
Is he back next week?
Yeah.
But where did the original cigarette go from last time? We still haven't
that
found
end. That end.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, well, that's in the Phantom Zone.
Yes. Why is the question, Des? Reynolds. It's like the inevitable Shazam that gets people.
Well, he wants the same stuff as us, didn't he? You know, Shazam. Thank you, Keith.
Oh God!
So you get this for free. You get this for free every Wednesday. Free.
Every week.
Free. People pay millions for this in Vegas and put a big show on with tigers and shit. You get it for free.
Brilliant, Si.
Thanks, Si.
I just remembered a week before we brought back Tub Thumpers, Andy, a week before, I said to Si, right behind the scenes, I said to Si,
cheers, John.
I said, so have you got any magic trick? And our Si sat there with his face and he went, oh, they haven't seen anything yet.
Oh no. This is a big build up to the last show of this season.
That's a cheap way to do it.
Yeah, this thing, back speak.
Oh. Anyway, we're done. We are sorted. So, Delvian, have you enjoyed your Tub Thumpers?
I've had a great time. Thank you very much for inviting me on and let me show all my shit. Well, not all of it, but
you've been it's just so nice after all these years. Like I said to you before we started, after all these years, do you know what I mean? That you're here and like I say, Delvian's YouTube channel is the description. The link is in the description. So please subscribe to our Delvian.
I like your dioramas. It's great. You've got some great pictures on there, some amazing pictures, because I love toy photography. It's one thing I can't do, so I love it watching Connor's and Red 5 Designs and Scott's and yourselves. I find it amazing how you lot can do it, you know, so...
Connor's great out some great stuff at the moment.
Yeah, he is, really is, But I suppose it's like a car. I suppose the more you do it, the more you advance with the tech, and, you know, adding effects, and the more you get better and better, don't they? Yeah.
Now we know Bill is the Vegas of the North. BOE says, great guest, fantastic.
Thank you.
DTM says Delvian was a cracking
guest.
Yeah,
you were brilliant. Yeah.
Our Coxie, look at that. It's been an amazing guest. What a great bloke and what a great show. Thank you. It's people like Delvian that make it a great show, and everyone in the chat, me and Si. Well, I mean, we've had over 50 all night. It's been absolutely brilliant. It really has. Bless you, Delvian. Thanks for the showing. Yeah. Thanks for sharing your tubs, Delvian. Andy, a great Tub Thumpers episode, everyone. See you all night for Friday. Yep. So anyway, tomorrow night, for anyone who's late up, like I say, I've started to do an American one at night. And tomorrow night, me and Scuba and Si are on, and we're going, me and Scuba doing room tours. So I've never done a room tour, Andy, ever. Never done one. And so I thought, you know what, it's about time. And I know Scuba's just done his room up. So me and Scuba are just going to take pictures of our rooms and go through that. But it's 9 o'clock, so it's 2 o'clock in the morning, but you can always watch the replay. And DSR this week is on Tez's channel this week. So here we go. So
I always thought it might be a nice idea. Do you remember Through the Keyhole? Like, who lives in a house like this? They're doing a little walkthrough, get through someone's collection room, and sort of like, whose collection room is this?
That'd be good. That'd be good. That would be good.
Yeah, that would be, wonderful.
And you know what? I think that would be harder than you think. Do you know what I mean? Because everybody's like, I think that would be quite hard.
Mr. Reynolds has subbed to Delvian Seek. There you go. Take care, everyone. Yeah, I'm going to go because it's been over the 2 hours. It's been absolutely brilliant. And I know you lot have got to go to sleep. So great show and great guest. Good old Gaz. Hey, Gaz. So let's just get to the bottom of this. Gil's just saying hello. Looking forward to a Delvian sequel. Yeah, we'll definitely get Delvian back on. Definitely.
Yeah, we only skim people's surfaces, don't we? On the first episode of Tub Thumpers, we only just skim what you've got. Do you know what I mean? It's
pretty much.
You don't see really anything.
Yeah, there was. It's been a good night for people watching. So brilliant. Right, we're gonna go. So let's have a look. What's got Andy? See you till next time, says our VTR. And we are done and dusted. So thanks very much, Delvian. Honestly, I've loved tonight. Simon, you're always brilliant, Simon. I've been
and I'll be looking forward to meeting up with you, Delvian, end of next month. We'll have a good day at Echo and stuff, and Toy Fair the month after. Be good.
There you go. To a drink.
Yeah.
There you are. Right, wave everyone. Say goodnight. See you later.
See you later.
Good night.